Hey, Wolfpack. So I kind of wanted to talk about having like, you know, maladaptive disorder and anxiety and what it's kind of done um as far as like taking countless hours and days of my time. So a part of having maladaptive disorder and anxiety, I can only speak to having both. I'm not going to speak to having them individually because they do, as far as my life is concerned, they coincide together, and always when I'm doing suffering through one, the other one is present. So I'll just talk about what it's like to deal with both on a daily basis. Okay, so basically I always like think about the past and what I could have done, even things as far as things that are like out of my control, such as, you know, my parents not doing what they should have done to provide and protect us from all different forms of neglect or abuse. I mean, I've said countless times my childhood wasn't always horrible, but like through my, you know, all 4 years of high school, I spent living in hotels. I've slept in cars, I've slept in homeless shelters, I've slept at the park. You know, it was really, really bad. And it could have been prevented so easily. It was so preventable. It was so preventable. But in saying that, I spent so much time like considering the past and what could have been done to fix it. Like what could have been done to fix it, what could I have done more if I had asked pleaded with my mom to please, you know, do better, or etc. Like what could have changed it. And honestly, I'm so happy that finally, like all of a sudden it just hit me today. Finally today at 23 years old, you know, September 15th, I finally have registered in my head that you cannot change the past. And it honestly is what the fuck it is. And everybody goes through heartache. Everybody goes through hardships. Everybody suffers in one way or another. And I don't believe that some people suffer worse than others, because a physical sufferance is not comparison to mental suffering. So I feel like, you know, some people, they feel like, oh, well, if you were poor and da 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 da, like this is what happened. Like, but honestly, like rich people can go through pain. Like I feel like anybody of all races and genders, like I feel like it's been such a comparison of pain. And yes, some people are privileged, don't suffer as much, but I do think to some degree everybody has basically regrets in moments of their life they wish they didn't happen. And I've spent so much of my time just wondering why, like, I had to lose all my childhood pictures, and why we had to go through that, why my little sister suffers through such horrible depression, why I had to suffer through sexual assault, why like so many things, 2 counts, like so many things of like why, and it's like, and then, you know, with having anxiety, I worry that that shit will happen again. Sorry, I've been thinking about, I was not tired. I woke up this morning at 8 in the morning. I was completely fine. And then when I started thinking about this and really, you know, going fully into it, it's making me so exhausted, and I feel really dehydrated all of a sudden. It's like thinking about all of this, all of the time I've wasted trying to figure out almost the concept of how to change the past to the point of being obsessed and consumed by it, and while simultaneously wondering about the future. I feel like I spend so much valuable time on a daily basis in my thoughts, either playing music. I have played music since I was a kid, and I put headphones in and I walk around for hours and hours and hours, consumed by the future and the past. I've done that since I was a kid, and you know, it's so stressful. It gives me nosebleeds sometimes. It gives me headaches. It makes my heart race. It makes me hot. It makes me cold. It makes my hand shake. I'm one of those people that I don't cry about things, and I don't get too overly obvious emotional. So here's the thing, because I don't cry, and it takes a lot for me to scream and fight people and lose my shit. So when things happen, like a death in the family, or you know, something goes horribly wrong all of a sudden, my other family members, they will freak out, they will scream, they will cry, they will instantly get pissed off, they will start screaming. Like, it's a whole show. Sorry for the noise. My upstairs neighbors are doing some shit they've been doing since this morning. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But yeah, it's like it takes a lot for me to break down. But I think because people, you know, even in my friendship groups, when my friends like go through things, or when I have a friend commit suicide, it's like, I think because people, they don't physically see the trauma that it brings to me, that they believe I'm okay. But I honestly internalize so much. And with lucid dreaming just like allows me. So it's pretty much, I just spend every single day of my life consumed by the future and the past. It's so disgusting. It's like I was so worried I would not graduate high school. I graduated high school. I'm like, now you have to do college. I do college. If I had to drop out because of family issues, because we were living in a shelter at the time, but I get out of college, I go back to college, and I get my dental assisting certificate. Then I'm like, you gotta do better than that. So now I'm in school to get my doctorate, and it's like, I always just like, you have to do better. I'm just so consumed. I think I'm so consumed with not, like, the past that I suffered through being my life now, that the best thing I can do is analyze the past in the most specific detail possible to prevent it from being my future. And it's like, you cannot live like that. I feel like constantly being consumed by, well, this happened because of this happened and this happened. A lot of that shit was so like wholeheartedly out of my control. Like there was nothing I could have done. There was nothing. I was a child. My siblings were children. My mom was just, it was just so fucking heartbreaking. And it's hard because it's like I said, the only time I cry, I mean, I've cried, obviously. I cry like once or twice a year. Like, I end up having a fucking meltdown once or twice a year because I just hold shit in for like half a year. And all of a sudden, randomly at work or in the shower or while I'm cooking fucking dinner or breakfast, I just have a full fucking breakdown. Well, it just is a huge meltdown. So, yeah. It's just a huge problem. So, yeah, I think I have finally come to grasp that you can not change the past. It is what the fuck it is. And the future, I have not been living. You know, I take trips, I go on road trips, I try new food, I date people, I fuck people, I, you know, move to Florida, I'm back in college to get my doctorate, I'm writing a book right now, like literally I have my laptop right now, I'm writing another novel, I've written 3 novels, and it's like I'm living. And more or less, like, I feel like I live sometimes, and other times I go through the motions. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like sometimes I'm walking around and I'm awake and I'm living and I'm doing things. And then the other half of my life, I've spent so much time surviving that it didn't feel like I lived. To the point where it's like, when I do, I've spent so much of my life. I'm only 23, and it's like, I've spent so much of my life from like childhood into adulthood just trying to survive, that now that I have the full opportunity to live, it is exhausting not having the chaos. I think it actually stresses me out because I live on my own now. I live on my own. I live in Florida. I have my own shit. My bills are paid. I have food. I'm never worried about being homeless. I'm never worried about, you know, any of that stuff. And I think it's so peaceful in my life that it scares the fuck out of me. It's so quiet that it literally is screaming in my head sometimes. My anxiety and my maladaptive disorder reached an all-time high a few weeks ago, to the point where I was having so many rapid thoughts of the future and the past and good and bad, that I was talking out loud. Like, people talk to themselves. That is normal to say things out loud. I was having full in-depth conversations out loud. In depth, like full conversations. Answering, questioning, repeating myself. I think sometimes when people have been through such significant trauma and they've had to push through and grind and hustle and survive and do whatever the fuck it takes, that when they can sit and breathe with air running past them and birds chirping and it's so peaceful, that the silence can be the scariest, heaviest weight on your chest. I have never been in a safer, calmer environment all the way in Florida by myself with just my dog. I don't even have a car down here yet, living in an apartment, and I've never been, I don't think in my 23 years of living I've ever been in such a safer, like, I can't predict the future, but I'm not around a rapist for the most part. My bills are paid. Nobody is cussing and screaming. Nobody's fighting. The police aren't at my house every week. Different niggas aren't in and out the house. You know, different people are in and out the house. You know, somebody who should be providing for bills doesn't randomly go absent for a while. It's like, you know, we may or may not have to get rid of the dog, and the dog has to go to a homeless dog shelter because we're at a homeless shelter and we can't have the, like, I think it's just such a drastic change of dysfunction and peace that I honestly, it broke me. Like, it broke me. I think I mentally broke. That's the best way I can describe it. Of having so much sudden peace and happiness. I'm so happy. And I think it, I don't think my brain could accept that I was that happy. And I have psychologists and therapists, like, I've had them. It's like, I truly don't think my brain could grasp that we are fine. We are fine. We are fine. Everything is fine. It's fine. Like, you are okay. Like, my nigga, like, shit is good. You are good. I don't think my body, my brain has been so used and trained, and you know, my brain and my body are so well trained and organized to deal in fully dysfunctional, lying, stealing, manipulating bullshit, that when it is dealing with all this blissfulness, I think it fucking cracked my brain. I think like I don't know. I think I do so, even at work, when it's really, really chaotic and shit's going to fucking flames and shit's going to hell, I seem to be the only one dealing with it well. And there's another girl at my job. She has been through a lot too. Her and I talk. Her and I are fine. I think people like us, we do almost better. Not saying I don't like drama. I don't like screaming. I don't like the yelling. I don't like the chaos. I'm just saying I seem to work very well in chaos. I think my body and my brain are so trained to deal with those episodes so well that when shit is going to plan, I cannot understand. I almost do worse when things are going accordingly. And it's so sad. It's honestly, it's not a good thing. Like, nowadays, people are always like, oh, I don't have any emotions. I'm a heartless bitch. I'm a heartless bitch. I don't have any emotions. Da, 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 da. And it's like, you saying that to someone like me, who, you know, for the most part, truly does not give a fuck, because giving a fuck means you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna get stolen from, you're gonna get lied to, you're gonna get assaulted, you're gonna get injured, you're gonna get hurt. Like, so I truly cannot give a fuck most of the time. So people nowadays, they think it's so cool to be heartless, and it's like, oh, I'm a heartless bitch. You know, I don't give a fuck about nothing. Like people always think it's like a cool thing to be. Let me explain something. There was nothing satisfying, good. There's nothing delicious about walking around every day, having a wall up that you did not build. It built itself, and it's damn near indestructible. There's nothing good. There's nothing, I'm a bad bitch because I'm heartless. There's nothing satisfying about me walking around on a 24 daily basis, having a wall up that I did not created by pain and trauma, that when I meet a actual good individual, I will not bring the wall down for shit, because I have it in my soul. And the crazy thing is, like, it's just so tiring that it's to the point now where it's like, I wake up every day and I have, like, for the most part, a good day. So it's like, you know, work is annoying sometimes, but like, for the most part, every single day I have a good day. I don't know how to deal with having a good day. I don't know how to deal with waking up and my bills are paid, nobody's cussing and screaming, the police aren't in my house every day, like, somebody's not getting arrested, somebody's not on drugs, somebody's not drunk as fuck showing their ass. It's just, I don't know how to deal with living in a very nice, I don't know how to live with dealing in a livable situation. If things were going bad, I feel like I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird, but yeah. So on a positive note, I'm not going to consume about the past anymore. It is what it is. Shit happened. You know, shit happened. I was homeless, I was raped, I was poor, I was stolen from, like, my, you know, money was stolen, I was lied to, manipulated. I mean, I'm here. That's the shit. Like, I fucking made it. Like, I'm about to be a doctor. I fucking up and moved to Florida. I have a dog that literally saved my life. I OD'd twice before I bought my dog, and now that I bought him, I couldn't imagine leaving him because I know the people he would end up with. He would end up with my family. And I bought him out of a shelter because he had been abused. You know, he had been abused. He has a big ass knot on his head. He was underweight. They said he was, you know, he was abused. And, you know, I took him from a horrible, well, he was in a shelter, but he came from pain. I came from pain. Now we eat strawberries on the beach. We eat watermelon on the beach. We walk around listening to music. We go to parks and paint. We sleep all day. He eats good. Like, I eat good. Like, shit's, like, I don't know what I would do without that dog. He literally keeps me, he kept me alive in Ohio, but now he gives me so much motivation. So, I don't know. I don't worry. I mean, in the future, I want to get my degree. I have a year and a half left. I want to get my degree. I want to get my degree. I want to keep doing YouTube. I want to publish these fucking books I keep writing. So annoying. And I you know, I write my journals. Writing in my journal has helped me significantly. But dealing with trauma overall, like, I think I'm doing okay. I think I need to go back to talking to a psychiatrist. For sure, or a psychologist, one of the two. But I think for the most part, I'm off all my meds. I haven't been on meds. I've been good. I want to get back on my ADD meds because I think that would be the best. But my anxiety, like, when my anxiety gets really bad, I drink cold water. I play with my anxiety toy. I hug Romeo. I cannot get too anxious around him for some reason. When I'm really, really like hyped, I hug him and I'm around him. But other than that, I'm good. It's just dealing with trauma is so fucking weird. It's so weird that one day you're totally fine, and the next day, if you like stub your toe or like drop your toothbrush, you have a full fucking breakdown about some shit that happened 3 years ago. It's crazy. But for the most part, I'm good. It's just, it was very hard to go from living every single day since I was like, even a young child, I remember shit just not making sense, not making sense. It's so weird to go from like every day, like you truly don't know what's gonna happen, and like living with an adult figure that has, you know, screaming or yelling or everything, so much aggression, and like it's very weird to go from every day you're walking on eggshells. Every day you don't know if this sibling is gonna do something to hold the whole family. It's just so weird to every day you don't know what the fuck is gonna hit. You don't know if you're about to miss 2 weeks of school, 2 weeks of dinner. Like, you don't know what the fuck is about to happen. It's so weird to wake up down here and I'm just living my life eating ice cream. It's like, it freaked me out. It's so weird. Like, I've spent so much of my life trying to get to this point, and I'm finally here, and I'm scared. I'm scared to be happy. I'm scared to be in the sun. Not physically. I mean that metaphorically. I mean, I'm scared to be in the light. I've spent so many years in the light, in the darkness, somewhere in between, somewhere in the darkness with a little bit of light. You know, I've spent so many years on the line of happiness and sadness that to be fully in the warmth of the sun scares the fuck out of me. But, you know, that's trauma. Now, I'll probably deal with this shit for the rest of my life, but for the most part, I think I'm handling it decently, we'll say. Decently. My company starts up December 1st. I never thought I'd have my own company. First off, I thought I wouldn't even make it to 18. I'm 23. I was pretty sure I'd be dead, but I've never actively tried to kill I've never like tried to commit suicide. I mean, I was at a point for so many years where I'm like, if the shit happens, it happens. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sick of waking up every day living the same goddamn day. What's the point of living? So I literally, like, it was just like, I've never tried to commit suicide. It was just more of like, whatever happens, happens. So, but now I couldn't imagine, especially with Romeo, who would watch him? Like, we have such a bond. He depends on me. I depend on him. He's such a loyal, dogs are so fucking loyal. And I'm always going to speak for those who can't speak. Whether that be children, whether that be the outcasts, like, you know, people who are homophobic or racist, like, I will always speak against them. I'll always speak for people who can't speak. So it's like, dogs are like something so precious to me because I truly believe the dog saved my life. Because before I bought him, like I said, I OD'd twice. So, and I was not going to stop. But buying something, adopting Romeo, who had been in is a similar or worse predicament than me, because at least I could leave sometimes, but he was just trapped with his abusers. I have to give him the life I wish somebody could have gave to me. That's what it comes down to. So, in a nutshell, dealing with trauma fucking sucks. And I never know when something is going to hit me or when something from the past is going to arise and ruin me washing the dishes, because now I'm thinking about shoving my head in the fucking oven. But I really have decided today, and I've been thinking about it all day, because I actually had an episode this morning where I was dealing with my maladaptive disorder, where I was literally walking around outside for an hour and a half straight, just listening to music, thinking about a certain thing that happened to me in the past. And it's like, for what? For what? Why? Why? You cannot change it. You cannot fix it. It made you who you are today, and you were stronger. Granted, as a child, I did not need to be strong. I needed to be protected. It is what the fuck it is. You cannot change it. You cannot go back. And if I hadn't suffered through that or gone through that, I wouldn't be who I am now. And right now, I'm well adapted and equipped to deal with a lot of pressure. And that's a good thing. I don't want children to go through that, but for me, it is fine. I am a vessel for pain, and I handle it. I'm a vessel for pain, and I handle it. That's it. And as far as worrying about the future, like I said, I want to own a house. I don't know if I'll live in Florida forever because it's hot, and I don't know. Maybe if I hear northern Florida is a lot colder, so maybe if I move up or whatever. I've been thinking about Colorado or Seattle. I really have been thinking about Colorado or Seattle, maybe California, but California kind of, I don't know. I've been thinking about a lot of different things. But you know, so one day I want to own a house in a nice weather state or community. I want to own my own house and give Romeo a huge backyard. I want to adopt another dog, have a wife and kids, and be a doctor, publish these books, you know, the whole shebang. So that's it. That's it. I've decided that, you know, worry about the future a little bit, you know, keep going to school, you know, set things, have 20/20 vision, you know, set things up, get ready for like your next parts of life, but stop worrying about the past. Stop letting the future and the past consume you. I spent so much of my life consumed about the past and the future that I don't live now. I do not live now. Sometimes I'm living, other times I'm just going through the step. I appear as I'm living, but I'm really just, you know, walking around. I'm just blank face walking around. So that's it. That's it. That's really the video. I'm so sorry the video is so long. I meant to just come on here and talk about surviving trauma, going through trauma, and how the overall effect, but as trauma is, it's not that simple. You just don't go through something and then, you know, a couple years go by and you're like, this shit was whatever. No, like, you know, I did say that though, like the past is whatever, but I mean like more or less changing the past, not getting over certain situations. But it is what it is, and you just gotta take it one day at a time, but enjoy the day. Take it one day at a time, but enjoy the day. Like, I don't know. I feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, this happened, that happened, this happened, because you can't change it. And the future is what it is. So, yeah, when I thought about the premise of this video, it was really to just talk about trauma for a couple minutes and like discuss getting through it, because I do believe some traumas, most traumas are a forever thing, but as long as you don't let it like consume you, like I let maladaptive disorder and anxiety consume me. And that's pretty much it. I will be doing a video on maladaptive disorder because it's not like, what is it, MDD. Well, I don't even know what you clarify it is, but it's not like, you're not gonna go to a doctor and get diagnosed. You have to diagnose yourself. But I will be doing a video on that, and I will be doing other videos, and I will be doing another Florida update video. So I'll be doing more videos. But yeah, I'm sure most of you know what anxiety is. Everybody can suffer through anxiety with like a presentation or a wedding or etc. But like maladaptive disorder is something I've actually suffered from since I was a child. And looking back, anybody could have diagnosed me with this. I mean, I've technically, doctors have told me I have maladaptive disorder. Like I have heard that from a doctor, and then I was explained that they can't necessarily diagnose me with it. It's a whole thing. I'll do a video on it. But yeah, I will not say used to, because obviously today is my revelation or whatever, but like I extremely suffer from maladaptive disorder. I mean, I guess if you put it on a thing, on a line from 1 to 5, I would say 4.5. I'm damn near at the highest level you could get as somebody who would walk around a dining room table for 6 to 8 hours straight, thinking about the past and the future while listening to music. So honestly, that was a waste of time. My hearing is probably going to be absent in my 30s. I probably won't be able to hear shit. Listening to loud music, walking around in circles, blaring music to cancel out my thoughts while I think about my thoughts. Like it, oh my goodness. But like I said, different video, different day, whatever. But I don't even want to stress too much on the time I waste on that, because you can't get the time back. Time's so precious. Like you can't get the time back, so why? I don't want to even sit here and think about all the time I wasted thinking about time I wasted. You know what I mean? It's whatever. Okay, guys. But I got to get back to writing this. I'm also like writing an anime while I'm writing a book. But I got to get back to this. It was really good to do this video. Please leave tips and tricks in the comments. Mwah.